No human being can fully comprehend God. Therefore, anything we say about God must be incomplete, limited, and limiting, and perhaps even betrays God. Any God that we can comprehend can never fully represent the one true God. Therefore, in a very real way, any God you can imagine must ultimately not exist. For God can only fully exist far beyond or deeper than our limited abilities to know or even wonder. This is one of my favorite lines from a book called The New Big Book of Christian Mysticism. It's a book on Christian mysticism. But this quote resonates very deeply with me. And it resonates with me because as people, we tend to try to put God in a box. We try to limit the infiniteness of source consciousness. How do you put a limitation on something that's infinite? Doesn't really make any sense, right? We try to say, oh, God has this name and this name only. That's not true. Shit, even Lao Tzu himself teaches that in the opening line of the Tao Te Ching, right? The sacred text on Taoism, the opening line says, the Tao, or the Tao that can be trodden is not the enduring and unchanging Tao. The name that can be named is not the enduring and unchanging name. So the thing is, if something can be changed, then it's not truth. If it can be manipulated, then it isn't the original source. The ancient Hermetists teach this in the Kybalion as well. All teachings, right? I just made a tweet about this morning. All religions and spiritual philosophies point back to one truth. The source is all with one. And that oneness is unchanging. It's ever present. That oneness is complete. It is whole. That oneness is vast and it is mysterious. That is where the word mysticism, mystical, stems from. Mystery, mythos. Mythos is a Greek word meaning story, right? All of these things, right? Mysticism, why I resonate heavily with mysticism, is because it's about the experiential spirituality. It's about not just knowing God, not just believing in God, but experiencing the presence of God, the love of God, the strength, the wisdom, the power of God. I've had a couple of mystical experiences myself. The first one was, I don't remember exactly when, but it was around the first quarter of this year, first quarter 2024, so within the first 3 months of this year. And I'd gotten home. This is when I was still, I hadn't gotten really on my spiritual journey yet. I was really getting into it more recently, but I was still identifying with like fundamental Christianity or exoteric Christianity, right? There's esoteric, and esoteric is like the inner relationship with God, right? That's like mysticism or Taoism or cold other forms of spirituality. And then there's exoteric. So esoteric is within, exoteric is without, and that's more like religious constructs like fundamentalism, fundamental Christianity, whatever it is. But you know, I used to have a more exoteric, you know, God is without me. I have to like pursue God outside of myself, right? I have to reach for something that's already within me. And by reaching for something that's already inside of me, I'm only going further and further away from where the truth really is. But, you know, back in the first quarter of this year, I was still identifying as a Christian. I still had Christianity being my main like vehicle for spiritual evolution. And I still love Christianity. I love mystical Christianity especially. I love Jesus. Jesus is my fucking guy. Jesus is the ultimate spiritual badass. Like, Jesus is a legend. I'm gonna just say that right now. But the Christian doctrine itself doesn't completely resonate with me. Now, the gospel of Jesus, that's my gospel. The gospel of love, you know, repent towards your heart, towards your mind, towards God. Obedience, you know, obey God, obey his commandments, serve others, give to the kingdom, you know. I'm about all of that. That was Jesus' message. Love it. Love it. Now, the other stuff, yeah, we're not going to talk about the other stuff, but the other stuff, you know, confession by our salvation by confession alone, or hell or the rapture or just a lot of dogma that is like very limited in boxing. Never really got down with any of that, but that's not the point. I'm just yapping and shit now. But first half of this year, or first quarter of this year rather, I was home and I wanted to sit down. I actually just watched a video by this YouTuber. His name is I Am Beggar, so like I am, and then Beggar, Beggar, and he makes like pretty cool animations about like Christianity, spirituality. And I'd watched one, and it was about prayer, and it was really cool, and it really resonated with me. So I was like, yo, I want to do a prayer. And so I sat in my chair and I just started doing this like very deep, like heartfelt prayer for God, for all the things that God has helped me with, for the year he got me through last year. 2023, man, 2023 was hell for me, bro. For the year he had gotten me through, for all the things that I learned in the past year, and all the things that I'd experienced, all the love that I had now, all the things that I was able to learn and to share. I was just so grateful, and I just asked God to reveal himself to me. I asked God to show me his presence. I'm saying his, I don't really like to put his pronouns on God, because God is above gender. But, if I'm going to address God, it'll usually be as him or as they or as it. Not that I'm biased or unbiased against her, but I don't really like using him anyway. Him is just kind of like the default I've grown up with, right, as a Christian. But back to the point. I just asked God to reveal itself to me, to show me, to allow me to feel God's presence. And that's exactly what happened. And it was so like, I really can't put words to it, right? And that was kind of like what our opening line is about. It's like, how do you even put words to something so infinite, so mysterious, so beautiful, so expansive, right? Words can only point towards the divine. Words can never fully encapsulate the meaning, the spirit, the true essence of God. Words can only do so much for us, but I just felt like this overwhelming amount of like energy, like over my body, over my arms, my legs, my chest. I felt my entire body like feeling like full of like light and love, just energy. And it was just such a beautiful moment. I just like sat in it. And I just sat in it. And from that moment forward, I was like, oh, okay, so I know God is real. I don't believe, like, I don't have this like belief that I need to like, oh yeah, or not belief, because this is weird. I'm kind of gonna ramble right now, but a lot of like what's taught in like church is that faith or belief is like, oh yeah, you need to just believe in this like thing, like just believe in God or believe in Jesus, whatever it is, and you don't actually have like evidence, or you never had like experience of that. And so it's really just like an idea. It's like just like a mental idea. But how do we back this mental idea? Through actions, through experiences, right? And so when we experience God, or when we act in accordance to God, that is when we truly feel connected to source, to oneness. And what was the point of that? I don't remember. Anyways, that's not that important. After that, actually I do remember now. Instead of having like this belief that can have doubt, right? Beliefs can have doubts. When you have knowing, right? True knowing with conviction because you have experience, then there's nothing you can say to me. Like, you can't tell me God doesn't exist, because I wouldn't say, like, I'd say you're wrong. Any atheist can come at me. I don't care. Here's the thing, guys. Like, when you know, then you know. But that true knowing can really only come with experience. And that's what I really resonate with the mystical traditions, especially like mystical Christianity, because mysticism is experiential spirituality, right? It's about experiencing God, the presence of God, the love of God, the oneness of God, the union with God, the union with all. And that's just very beautiful to me. And so, what is this video fucking about, Jaden? That's a good question. Here's the thing, guys. instead of trying to limit God or bring God back down to our level, right, so that we can like comprehend God on our limited perspective, how about instead of trying to bring God down to our plane, our level, we ask God to raise us up, right? Instead of trying to descend or put God into a box, how about instead we ascend? We take ourselves out of the box. How do we do that? Ask God for wisdom. Ask God for love. Ask God for strength. Ask God for power. Ask God for these things, and God will reveal you. And God will reveal to you how to achieve them. You know? Everything that you already want is already within inside of you. You know, you're already... This is like a little quantum physics like leap here. But in quantum physics, there's something called the parallel universe theory. And basically it says that every single potentiality in this universe exists, right? The universe where you're a billionaire right now, it exists. The universe where you have like a super crazy frame that you're in love with, right? A super jacked body, that universe exists. The universe where you have your dream partner, that universe exists. The universe where you have cured world hunger, or some shit like that, I don't know, that universe exists. Every single one of those universes is a potentiality, right? The thing is, every single one of those universes is a different frequency. And so we have access to any one of those realities. All we have to do is change our frequency, right? And so since we already have access to all of these potential realities because they're all coexisting simultaneously, then all we have to do is ask God how to get to that desired frequency, which will manifest into that desired reality, and then we'll be there. Now, it isn't just as easy as it's like, hey, God, I want this thing. It's just like, oh, cool, you got it. Doesn't really work like that, right? What you have to do is ask. You have to make the decision that this is what you want, and then God will start serving you lessons. The universe will start sending you these challenges, these tests, and these will come to you so you can see them, so you can face them. And once you overcome them, once you heal your inner self, right? Once you evolved internally, that means your frequency will raise. And since your internal frequency raises, the frequency of your reality must also correspond to that, right? That's the second Hermetic principle, as above, so below, right? The universe, a macrocosm, the self, the microcosm, they both reflect each other. The yogis taught this, the mirror principle, the Buddhists, the tantrics, the mirror principle, that your internal state creates your external reality. It's all the same thing, guys. And so if we want to manifest our desired reality, if we want to materialize our desired reality from a frequency to real existence, then we need to ask God to allow us to raise our consciousness, raise our vibration, give us the lessons that we need to learn in order to achieve that, and then see those lessons, find them, integrate them in ourselves, heal them, heal the parts of our shadow so that we can raise our frequency and materialize our desired reality. Instead of trying to limit God because we are limited, how about we step more into our unlimitedness? How do we do that? Well, you just ask God, bro. And then once you start getting intuitions, right? That's how God directs us. You start getting intuitions. Oh, let me read this book. Let me watch this podcast. Let me journal here. Let me meditate there. Whatever it is, whatever God is pulling you to do, whatever your intuition, your gut, your heart is telling you to do, listen to it. That's the way. All right, guys, that's the video. We're kind of rambling. I feel like this was a good video. If you took something away from this video, let me know. Because I was kind of rambling, but I feel like a good message came out of this. My name is Jaden. I'm here. I'm the leader of the Digital Renaissance Creators, the Digital Alchemists. We're a movement of spiritual creators and spiritual entrepreneurs, spreading love, spreading education, spreading abundance, spreading authenticity, freedom, people who are reaching financial independence, doing what we love every single day. If that's a movement you want to be a part of, I'd appreciate if you drop a sub, drop a like, share. Let's keep growing up our digital tribe. If you guys are interested in learning more about esoteric wisdom and also how to incorporate that esoteric wisdom into mental transmutation, into conscious creation, into online entrepreneurship by becoming a digital alchemist, I'd like to invite you, come check out my free ebook. That's a lie. My ebook is not free. Come check out my paid ebook. Oh well, it's $11 though, but check out my ebook. That's full of esoteric wisdom, the art of like alchemy, mental transmutation, how to create and like use your experiences, the things that you've been through, your spirituality, whatever it is, how to turn that into a profitable online business, right? How to turn your pain into purpose and profit. That's what digital alchemy is all about. If that intrigues you, ebooks in the description. I also have other stuff in there, free stuff in the description. Got my free 1-hour YouTuber framework, free courses, all that's free there. Do it today. Be better for it tomorrow. Stay blessed. Stay loving. Catch y'all next vid. Thumbs out.